Good evening. On behalf of all of us at Placer Arts, thank you for coming to William Jessup University and participating in the inaugural series, Let's Never Forget. In just a few minutes, we will screen The Presence of Arnost Lustig. This is the U.S. premiere of the film, written and directed by Arnost's daughter, Eva Lustigova. Eva and a panel of experts will then grace the stage to comment on her film. A moderated discussion and dialogue with you, the audience, will follow. And now, it's my honor to introduce former Secretary of State, Madeline Albright.
Hello and welcome. I'm sorry I'm not able to join you in person in beautiful Auburn, California, but I'm so pleased to introduce the first ever program of Placer Arts' Let's Never Forget series. Each year, this series will focus on a different culturally significant event by promoting public engagement and a community dialogue on issues of global importance. I can think of no more worthy subject to begin this series with than the Holocaust, an event we must certainly never forget, and I commend Dr. William Kirby and the other members of the organizing committee for focusing on this topic through the lens of an inspirational survivor of tragic events, Arnost Lustig. The first program in this series, Night and Hope of Arnost Lustig, a Holocaust survivor story, consists of several events dedicated to the contributions Arnost made to literature and film depicting what he called the Jewish tragedy. And even though he used very personal events to address the specifics of the Jewish tragedy, his work confronted the very essence of the evils of human nature. In truth, as one reviewer wrote, Arnost's work beautifully captures, and I quote, the humanity of the dehumanized, the courage of the terrified, and the friendships of the abandoned. He wrote for the children, for the innocent who surrendered their lives rather than their innocence, unquote. Arnost and I share similar backgrounds, and I feel a strong connection to his work. We were both born in Prague, Czechoslovakia, before the beginning of World War II. While my immediate family was fortunate enough to escape the horrors of the Holocaust, Arnost lived through it all. First, he was deported to the notorious prison camp Detteseen. Then he was moved to Auschwitz and Buchenwald before he escaped from a death transport headed for Dachau. But like many of our contemporaries, neither Arnost nor I escaped completely unscathed. Arnost lost his father and many other family members during the Holocaust, and as anyone who has viewed his work can tell, the marks left by their absence were painful and deep. Despite the incredible cruelty and heartbreak he experienced, Arnost was not broken. Instead of fleeing, he returned to Prague after his escape and fought in the Czechoslovak resistance movement. He remained there after the war ended and embarked on a successful career writing novels, short stories, and screenplays. He was revered in Czechoslovakia and in Czech and Slovak communities across the world. But the Soviet invasion of 1968 forced Arnost and his family to leave Prague. They eventually came to the United States, where Arnost settled into a life as a professor of literature and film at American University. Throughout his 30-year career as a professor, Arnost surely touched the lives of thousands of students. Arnost used the terrible circumstances of his childhood as a vehicle for explaining some of the horrors that took place during World War II and the Holocaust. If the will of the Nazis had prevailed totally, he and millions of others would have perished without a trace. The survival of those brave people does not diminish the tragedy of the Holocaust, but it does remind us of the resilience of the human spirit, and that should give us strength. It also underlines the need for continued vigilance, because the Holocaust proved that what should be unthinkable is not truly beyond thought, and that if we are complacent, the inconceivable can happen over and over again. And that is why we must never forget. Arnost's legacy ensures that we never will. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. premiere of the presence of Arnost Lustig.